Here's more wrestling news for November 7th, 2022. And we're starting off today with Crown Jewel as Drew McIntyre defeated Karrion Kross in a steel cage match in a hard-fought win for the Scottish Warrior. Not only did McIntyre face off with Kross, but he also had to deal with Scarlett at ringside, but that's not all he had to contend with. PW Insider's Mike Johnson reports that McIntyre was seriously ill during the match and had been in the days prior to Crown Jewel. Despite his illness, McIntyre insisted on making the show, and this isn't the first time Drew has been under the weather. In September, McIntyre was able to make a SmackDown taping despite a severe case of food poisoning, but was later pulled from that weekend's live events. Hopefully, whatever McIntyre has been dealing with this past week is now out of his system, and we're wishing the two-time WWE Champion a speedy recovery. Like previous years, this year's Crown Jewel event had its share of controversy due to reports of a possible attack on Saudi Arabia by Iran. It was believed that Iran could launch a strike on the kingdom while WWE's roster and crew were over there, but now everyone is back home. PW Insider were able to confirm that WWE's talents and crew were able to exit Saudi Arabia without any issue, unlike 2019. That year, the roster was detained due to what WWE said was a mechanical issue with the plane, but many believed it was due to a tense standoff between WWE and the Kingdom. The Saudi royals had not paid WWE the enormous sum to host the show, resulting in Vince McMahon shutting off the feed in Saudi Arabia, which led to superstars being detained and their passports seized before the money was paid. Thankfully, that wasn't the case this year, and it's reported that some talent have private transportation back home, as WWE's latest show in Saudi Arabia is officially over. Unfortunately, not everyone left Crown Jewel feeling good, as Logan Paul suffered some serious injuries during his main event match with Roman Reigns. During their 25-minute collision, Paul suffered a torn ACL and torn meniscus, and these injuries will keep him on the shelf for quite some time. According to the Mayo Clinic, healing from an ACL tear often takes 6 to 9 months, while a torn meniscus can be anywhere between 6 weeks to 3 months. It was nearly 7 years to the day earlier that Seth Rollins suffered a similar injury during a Dublin, Ireland live event with Kane, and Rollins wouldn't appear for another 6 months before his return at Extreme Rules in May 2016. As for Paul, it appears that a WrestleMania 39 match is off the table for him, but he could be back in time for SummerSlam 2023. Ultimately, the focus right now is that Paul gets fully healed after his first big injury as a superstar, but after 3 impressive performances, WWE will be eager to get him in the ring again when the time is right. With Crown Jewel 2022 now in the rearview mirror, WWE's attention will turn to its next premium live event, Survivor Series, which will have a major twist this year. For the first time ever, the November tradition will play home to Wargames, but these matches will be bigger than ever before. As confirmed in a commercial during Crown Jewel, these matches will be 10-person bouts, consisting of 2 teams of 5 superstars on each side. We know that there will be a men's and women's Wargame match, but there's no word on who will be in the double cage just yet, but expect Wargames to live up to the name later this month. More from Crown Jewel as Brock Lesnar picked up a controversial win over Bobby Lashley, pinning the Almighty while Lashley had him trapped in the Hurt Lock. This is the second match of theirs and the second controversial finish, as their collision at the Royal Rumble saw Lashley win, but only after interference by Roman Reigns. With 2 dirty finishes, many fans are expecting a third match between the two, and though this is reportedly the plan, it won't happen soon. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer explained how the rematch was scheduled for WWE Day 1, but that event has since been canceled. WWE has given no official reason why the show has been canceled, but many believe that low ticket sales forced WWE to pull the plug and host an untelevised live event instead. A third match seems like a natural choice and will likely take place next year at WrestleMania 39, but even if the match does happen, it'll be far later than what the company had planned. In 2020, Matt Cardona was released from WWE after over a decade under the name Zack Ryder. Despite reigns as U.S. Champion, Intercontinental Champion, and Tag Champion, Cardona spent much of his WWE run as a jobber at a time when creative decisions were finalized by Vince McMahon. Since McMahon's exit, the changes Triple H has made have gone down well with fans, and while speaking to Kevin Kellam, Cardona himself lavished praise on the new era of the company. It's certainly exciting, right? Every week it seems like, or maybe not every week, but it seems like someone's coming back or debuting or re-debuting. It's fresh, it's exciting, it's must-see TV, and I think that's what wrestling should be. Addressing a possible return to WWE, Cardona said never say never, but insisted that he would have to keep the Matt Cardona name, saying that the Zack Ryder character is dead. Cardona has certainly been one of wrestling's most impressive stars post-WWE, holding several titles in various promotions, including the NWA World's Championship, but time will tell if he ever makes a return under Triple H's regime. Over to AEW now, as it's widely believed that CM Punk will be released from the company over his role in the All Out fight. It's been reported that AEW is seeking to buy out the remainder of Punk's contract, but that may have already happened. That's according to Dutch Mantel, who during the latest Smack Talk gave his theory for why Punk has been quiet about what happened. Some money has already changed hands or is going to change hands to keep Punk quiet. A thing that's been on my mind recently since the Vince McMahon thing happened is the 3 letters NDA. That's what I think they want Punk to sign, and he may change the story because none of it was under oath anyway, but I don't think Tony wants it out there. As we all saw at All Out, Punk isn't exactly shy when it comes to making his opinion heard, which has made his silence all the more intriguing. We're sure Punk has plenty he wants to say about AEW, The Elite, and All Out, but we may never know what he thinks, thanks to a payout from Tony Khan. Fans may not be seeing CM Punk in AEW anymore, but Jade Cargill has been a runaway success in the company and remains undefeated in the women's division. No woman has ever been able to keep the TBS champion down for a 3 count or force Cargill to submit at this time, and now Jade is looking for opponents beyond her own gender. On Twitter, Cargill said that all she wants right now is a match with one of the male stars in the company, but didn't throw out any names. Interestingly, Cargill's debut in AEW came by interrupting Cody Rhodes and teasing the arrival of Shaq, but with Rhodes now in WWE, a match between the American Nightmare and Jade is off the table. It'll be Tony Khan's decision as to whether an intergender match happens, but which male wrestler in AEW do you want to see face Jade? Let us know in the comments below. For years, Nick Aldis has been one of the biggest names in the NWA, including having 2 reigns as the promotion's world champion. With over 1,300 days as champion to his name, Aldis held the gold longer than legends including Terry Funk, Buddy Rogers, Jeff Jarrett, and Dusty Rhodes, but his time with the NWA has now come to an end. In an Instagram subscriber video, Aldis confirmed to fans that he has given his notice and will finish up with the company soon. Aldis' current contract is still valid until January of 2023, but his decision to leave shouldn't come as too much of a surprise. The British wrestler has been at odds with NWA President Billy Corgan for months now, and PW Insider reported back in July that it felt like an agreement could not be reached between the two. Things only got worse when Aldis was pulled from the main event of the NWA 74 pay-per-view, and the former champion has been openly critical of the creative direction of Corgan. It's said that Aldis has magma-level heat backstage for his comments and for presenting himself as bigger than the NWA. Aldis' impending departure in January is interesting, as if he's not subject to a non-compete clause, he could be part of the Royal Rumble, as WWE has shown interest in him in the past. Wherever Aldis goes next, it won't be back to the NWA, as the differences between him and Corgan have proven to be too much for Nick to stick around. Otis, who has proven to be a force to be reckoned with in the ring, but recently celebrated a major accomplishment out of the ring. On social media, the former Mr. Money in the Bank stated that he recently finished reading Stephen King's book Pet Sematary, marking the first book he's read cover to cover. Otis explained that he suffered with severe dyslexia since elementary school and said that WWE was able to set him up with a reading class. The Alpha Academy member also gave a shout out to his teacher Kimmy and said that while he is sometimes embarrassed by his condition, he is working hard to overcome it. Otis concluded with a review of Pet Sematary and already has plans for his next read, another King work in The Shining, and we want to commend the Raw superstar on this fantastic accomplishment. And we're ending with Raw, as tonight's show will be the first on the road to Survivor Series, and things are off to a strong start. Tonight's Raw will be held in the Mohegan Sun Arena in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, and the show is a practical sellout. WrestleTix reports that at the time of their tweet, only 266 seats were left for the show, and there's a good chance that they have sold at this point in time. WWE has struggled for years to fill arenas, with infamous images online of entire blocks of empty seats being covered in black fabric so that they didn't appear on TV. Since July, though, WWE has seen a definite increase in ticket sales, which many are putting down to their new creative, and this week's Raw has proven to be yet another success.
Well guys, that's our news for today. Please share your comments below. Also hit the like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon to receive all notifications. And as always, thanks for watching.